you and I talk a lot about how big the potential market is, right? And it's about kind of all boats rising. And so I think it's exciting for you guys. What I'm personally pretty interested in here is your view of the publishers, right? I think you've kind of been brand first as you've grown up. And the acquisition you've made of Trackonomics, it's a focus on the publishers. Like, what is your focus moving forward in that space, and how do you see that evolving?
I think that's a fair observation. We actually started on the supply side originally. This goes back years and years ago, before 2013 even. And we realized that, hey, you actually need demand on your platform before you can really get the supply excited. So we kind of turned our attention to really addressing the requirements of the demand side and really serving that well, just providing the very best platform to better manage existing partnerships, just cut out the waste, really isolate unique value, incremental value, be able to compensate partners uniquely down to the transaction level. And that's worked out amazing. Like, we've been a great platform for better managing and optimizing existing partnerships. And over the last couple of years, we have been turning our attention to now serving the needs of the supply side, really trying to get more publishers, businesses excited about operating on our platform and serving their needs. Because again, that's the flywheel, right? The more productive partnerships that happen on this platform, the more people grow and stay with the platform. And so that is related to our investment in Trackonomics, but it's also our excitement about this new type of partnership that's been emerging. And it's relatively new. It's just 3 to 4 years ago that the commerce content strategy has really taken off with the major publishers. We just hired the individual that is largely responsible for building out CNN Underscored, for example. And it's exciting to have him on leading our product strategy around that together with Hanan, the founder of Trackonomics. So, it's a combination of those two things, right? Our point in evolution and now, kind of serving more of the needs of the supply side and doing that in a way to bring more partnerships to the table for the demand side, as well as building out focus on the different partnership types. Also, our acquisition of Activate came with it a very vibrant marketplace of influencers. So they actually started as blog loving, and they've got close to 200,000 active, engaged influencers as part of their platform. That was absolutely part of our interest in making that acquisition as well. So you'll continue to see more investment in the supply side, both the marketplace dynamics as well as the automation.
Yeah, I put some words in your mouth earlier and said that the big barrier was this, the issue between supply and demand. But I should ask you directly. You now have this investment. There's the implication that there's a lot of growth to be had. Like, when you look at the market, what are the biggest barriers to achieving those multiples?
I would say it's probably maintaining status quo with traditional channels, those being like search, display, and others. There's a lot of disruption that's happened and more coming. I think a lot of people think of their primary customer acquisition channels as, hey, let's put $1 into this coin-operated machine and get a click back, essentially. And I'd say the first immediate issue is, prices have gone up. I think the average CPM on Facebook has gone in the $3 range to the $7 range. And if you're a new store on Shopify, for example, we just got pulled into the Shopify Plus program. So they're a customer of ours, so they're licensing our software for their own partnerships. But we also have a channel partnership with Shopify to where any new store that opens up on Shopify gets introduced to the Impact platform. The message is quite simple, right? You as a new store, do you want to get in there and compete with everybody else paying $7 CPM for a Facebook ad? And or, because I don't see it as a either or. Truth is, advertising will be around for a while. I think it's just changing dramatically. But the alternative is start the investment now in a real partnership program, find other businesses to connect with to get them referring you customers, and you in this sort of category have the ability to kind of set the terms that are going to best work for you and your business. And so that's how I think about it.
Let me ask you a kind of a general management question. You lead a big organization, and I'm always kind of interested in people and how they manage. Because you've described these big strategic partnerships, as a big part of your future, and you also just described kind of the long tail, right? is how do you as a manager keep your team focused? I mean, because that's kind of the whole world, right? And how do you, make sure product and marketing and sales are all kind of marching in the same step when you have such a wide addressable market?
Yeah, I mean, as a company, we have a really good executive culture around planning. And, I've always said that the mark of a good senior leadership team is the ability to plan really well, but also the ability to execute really well. And what gets planned for gets done. Like, you're going to move mountains to kind of get that plan done. So we're on a 2-quarter planning cadence. And we've studied other companies like Spotify. Has this term of bets that are a little bit longer term, but in general, it's an OKR based system. We're actually in the middle of H2 planning right now. We're in a fiscal year that starts Feb 1. So as we kick off August, we roll out to the teams, hey, here's our plan basically for the second half of this year or the next 2 quarters. And then we move into a 2-week meeting cadence where we report out on green, yellow, red on the key financial metrics, as well as progress on OKRs. We're identifying issues and opportunities along those lines. So, I think we're vetting over roughly a 1.5 to 2 month period. Hey, there's a lot of things that we could be doing, but what are the bets that we're going to make? The main focus areas as a company that we're going to take on over the next 2 quarters, and more, we've been pushing out the timeline that we're trying to measure. We're saying, hey, we're forecasting, here's what our business can be or what we can grow to in the next 3 years now. And it's a combination of strategy as well as kind of like financial expectations for the business. And we're just trying to align the very best plan to achieve that.
We've got a lot of audience members that are, active managers of affiliate programs, and I don't want to say junior, but aspiring managers, aspiring general managers. What characteristics do you look for in those people who are going to help lead and execute in your organization?
I would say just culturally, we're big fans of, a lot of people talk about putting the customer first, but we take that very serious. Like, we love and we get excited about getting in front of a customer and workshopping, understanding their requirements, designing something that's going to solve their problem. Not that we do bespoke development. We, very much try to build for the platform, not for an individual client. And so we look for individuals that are excited about either workshopping with the customer or building things that address customer needs. Just culturally, people that are into the business, are excited about the vision, that want to put effort and work towards building something great. We're not here checking Facebook pages at Impact. I think most companies are. I'd like to think that most employees, rather, I think we're over 600 employees now, understand our vision and are working towards something. And we want people to kind of lean in and be part of that journey.
Well, listen, Dave, I really appreciate you spending time with us. Congratulations on the raise. I think it's exciting for anyone who's listening, because it's validating, what the industry has been saying for a long time. But before I let you go, I have to ask you the question everyone's thinking is, you're well within range now, valuation going public. Is it going to happen? When's it going to happen? I'm sure your employees, your competitors and your partners are all kind of curious about this question.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing I'd say about fundraise is my recommendation is that I don't care if you're a small company or a later stage company like Impact. I think every company should fundraise every 2 years as a general timeline. Not just because you need the money. And I think fundraising is generally, you are thinking like 18, 24-month runway to how you're going to use the funding. But it's an important process to go through because it validates your strategy. It's like one thing to meet with someone and they agree with everything you're doing, just give you praise and whatnot. It's a completely different thing to go through a formal process where you're running through more than a dozen like deep dive management meetings with different sets of investors, and you're hearing how they're reacting to your story. And then most people are familiar with the process, but you get letters of interest in where they're kind of putting to paper what they're saying the value of your business is. It's an important experience to go through because it tells you what's real and what's not. Like, are you just drinking your own Kool-Aid, believing your narrative, or are other people, like truly agreeing with you to where they'd actually fund something? So anyway, I just think it's a very healthy process to go through, and they point out areas of opportunity still, or weaknesses or challenges that the business should likely work on and address later. So for us, that was part of the consideration, but I'd say more importantly, we are seeing this fundraise as an important stepping stone on a path to potential IPO, possibly next year. It gives management a lot of confidence to just continue to execute on further accelerating our top line growth. We're investing in international expansion, more channel partnerships, more product-led growth, just more investment in the overall platform, just overall investment in the partnerships ecosystem as a whole, as we talked about. We think it's a great stepping stone for the path of this business.
Well, it's exciting for you guys, I'm sure, and I think it's exciting for most people in the industry. So congrats, and I think we're certainly looking forward to seeing what you do with the investment, and wishing you all success. So I appreciate your time very much.
Great. Thanks, Mike. Take care.
Bye.
Cheers.